On the face of it, Imperium looks like a really good deal. You pay a monthly fee and you're showered with minis and paints direct to your door. The value of the models you get will easily outweigh the price you pay over the lifetime of the subscription. Not to mention the fact you get a snazzy magazine, some free gifts and other exclusives. That sounds fantastic, so why am I unsubbing? Well, there's actually a lot of reasons. First of all, before we get any further, I would just like to say this is from my perspective and why I unsubscribed. I know that Imperium works for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that none of these points apply to and they really enjoy their subscription and get a lot out of it. I'm not one of those people, so I'll tell you my reasons why I've unsubscribed. My first reason would be commitment. Every month for 2 years you get more magazines. You get 4 magazines with either paints, models, a combination of both. Sometimes you get terrain, and unless you keep on top of them, unless you build them regularly and paint them regularly, they will build up to the point where you might not even open them. I've got a stack of about 12 magazines sitting there, completely unopened, because I don't have the time to process them. I've got so many other projects on the go that this is a burden I don't need. If you're like me and you like a bit of variety in your hobby, then bear in mind that you're going to only be getting Space Marines, Necrons and Terrain for the next 2 years. Sure, you'll get a wee AdMech contingent and a Sisters contingent, but it's 5 months in and we haven't seen them yet, so you had better like painting Space Marines and Necrons. I personally cannot stand painting Necrons, so I was going to sell these, but I've had a wee look on eBay and there's a lot of competition for listings at the moment, so I'll probably hold on to them and then sell them later on. If you choose the premium subscription, which is an extra £2 per issue, which doesn't sound a lot, but it does add up, it's £8 over the month obviously. 4 times during that 2 years you'll get another little army box through if you've taken the premium subscription. So you get Tyranids, Tau, Chaos and Orcs. That will further exacerbate the problem. You do get to paint something different, fair enough, but you're paying for the privilege and there's not that many models in the box, so you're going to be over that really quickly, and it adds on to the pile of shame. You've then got your monthly stuff to deal with and a little extra as well. So you'd better be a really prolific hobbyist, otherwise this is going to stack up and up and up. Also, only getting miniatures from 2 different armies is no way to live. I would get really annoyed if I couldn't pick up a Blood Bowl team or a Necromunda gang every now and again just for a bit of variety. Bear in mind, even if you do have a bigger budget, it's going to have a knock-on effect to your chances of finishing Imperium and doing anything with it. I'll be honest, the main reason I subscribed to Imperium was so I could do videos for you. I also like getting models through the post, but that was the main reason. I couldn't make the videos exciting. It was so boring, I even bored myself. I just couldn't do anything with it. I didn't think anyone would want to watch them, so I'd recorded a few and then they still sit on my hard drive. I've not done anything with them. I also get the magazines through a month after they've been released in retail because they all come 4 in a row. But this is what annoys me. You would think if you're paying the subscription, you should be the first ones to get them. They shouldn't be putting them in retail before you get them. So that was a bit annoying. The only way to get the premium boxes was to subscribe with Hachette. So that was what I did. But then I was a month behind. People had already done their reviews. I couldn't make mine exciting. So do you see where I'm going with that? That was a big reason for me unsubbing. Another reason was the selection of models. There's only one exclusive. We got the Primaris Captain, who, he was okay. He wasn't the best looking model around, but he was passable. No exclusives for Necrons, although I can't really tell one Necron apart from another anyway. So you could give me a model that's been out for 20 years and I'd just be like, great, fine, that's an exclusive Necron. I would not know. The other thing is, the Imperials don't really get anything big. In Conquest we got a Repulsor. The biggest thing that we get in Imperium is probably Roboute Guilliman. While he's a fine looking model, unless you're painting Ultramarines, he's not really that useful. You could take him aside and just do a nice paint scheme on him. I've seen nice ones in gold, white, red. He looks fantastic in all of them. But if you're trying to build an army, you'd really have to use him as an Ultramarine. So that wasn't so great. I think what this is really going to miss is a big tank. It was really exciting getting the Repulsor through in Conquest. I don't see why they couldn't have given us something like a Gladiator Lancer. If they don't want to repeat models that have been in previous subscriptions, then that would have fitted the bill. But we didn't get that. There's lots of big models on the Necrons side, but I'm not a big fan of Necrons, doesn't do anything for me. You also have to take into account the fact that, yes, sure, there's lots of models advertised for this, but you don't get them for a very long time. Some of the models that you want might be up to 2 years away, so you're paying your £36 or £44 a month, and basically it's potluck what you get. You're going on their schedule. So some months you might get nothing you like. You might get a couple of Necrons, a couple of paints, some shipping containers, and you get absolutely nothing you're interested in painting. Even if you're going to eBay the Necrons, then it's not a very exciting month. Although this might let you catch up with your backlog. But if you're expecting models that you want every single month, it might not happen for you. Depends on your tastes, of course. It does require a lot of patience to wait for the ones that you really, really want. There's also the surprise exclusives that come through. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I am a collector, so I like getting unique things, but the way they do it is a wee bit dodgy. It's not an opt-in, it's an opt-out. So if you're subscribed, you're going to get given these things and they're going to charge you extra for them, regardless of whether you want them or not. If you miss the opt-out message in your previous delivery, then you're getting it. So this month it was £15 for an art book. I probably would have let that go anyway, I would have wanted that, but I missed my letter last month, so I didn't really have a chance to opt out. I was getting this regardless of whether I wanted it or not. This can happen through the entire lifetime of the subscription. You don't know what you're getting, and you'll only know the month before. So the art book on top of the premium subscription was £58.95 all in, which is a lot of money. You really need to keep on top of all this stuff. You can't discard your delivery notes. You need to read them and make sure you're not going to get charged for something the next month. That is very important. Also factor in other charges. They charge for binders after your first one, so I think that's £10 per binder. So as you can see, the costs, while it looks really good at the start, the costs can mount up over the lifetime of this subscription, and it might end up with you getting a lot of stuff you don't want. To me, the word that sums up the Imperium subscription is pressure. There's pressure to make sure that you make the most out of your investment. There's pressure to paint all your models and not let them pile up. And there's pressure to keep on top of all the extras and make sure you don't get charged for something that you don't want to. In my opinion, there are much better ways to hobby. I think from a hobby point of view, you would be much better picking and choosing the units you want and the paints you want yourself. That way you can go at your own pace, you only get things that you want, and you don't have that stress of having a big pile in the background that you think, I've really got to get to that because that's wasted money. That's money that's sitting on the shelf not getting used. It's far easier to paint models that really appeal to you. If you don't like some of the models you get, chances are you'll get bored of them or you'll get sick of the process of painting them halfway through. You'll also be able to pick and choose the right units for your army in the way that you want to play. Sure, it might cost a little bit more, but I think having that extra bit of control is worth it. If you're desperate to get Space Marines and Necrons at a discount, you should look at some of the starter boxes because you get Primaris Space Marines and Necrons, and you'd be able to look at colour schemes for them, you'd be able to see if you like painting them and collecting those armies before you make such a big commitment. I think a better way of doing it, but obviously a much more time consuming way for GW to do it, would be to allow people to subscribe to individual armies. You could maybe subscribe to a 2,000 point army over the course of a year and a half, 2 years, whatever, and every month you would get units delivered for that one particular army. You could maybe even get data sheets and cards and things like that delivered as well. I think that would be a much better way of doing it. With bundling in the Necrons and the Space Marines together, you're ensuring that you either have to split the subscription with someone or paint both armies. So I don't think that is something that most hobbyists would do. If that's your thing, fantastic, go ahead, subscribe. You'll really enjoy it, but most people don't work like that. Most people pick an army and focus on that, and then have little side projects on the go, just for a wee bit of variety. So I'd really like to hear your opinions on Imperium, and if you're in the UK, have you subscribed and are you keeping your subscription going? If you're in the US or one of the other countries that's getting Imperium in the next couple of days, what are your plans for it? Do you think you'll split it with someone? Do you think you'll take it all on yourself? Are you going to try to eBay things even though you might not get that good a price for the models? Let me know, I'm really interested to hear. So once again, thanks for watching, happy hobbying, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.